Krista, why are you not willing to take this old bag in for us? We only just got married over here, right? Don't you think it's better if you take her and look after her instead of the two of us newlyweds?
Betty, it's been a while. When you said old bag, were you actually referring to my mom?
Who else would I be giving that well-deserved title to? I want you to take over handling this stingy and annoying old freak for us.
Could you stop it with all that horrible name-calling, please? She is my mom, okay?
I could care less about that, Christina. I'm only calling her by who she really is, right? A moneyless old bag. If you don't come over here to get her real soon, I'll have to kick her out of our house.
Betty, are you aware that it is my mom who has been asking to come and live with my older brother? And it's not just her that wants it, but my older brother as well. So you talking about her in that way seems to be you not showing any respect for our family. Is that right? Calling her things like annoying and poor are sorts of things that will make her really upset and might push her to becoming more distant from you.
I'm sure you just want to think of her in the nicest possible way because she was the only person that parented you. But to me, someone who was raised in a family with loads of money, all I can think of her as is a moneyless bag. I feel bad for the poor broad, but having to put up with her is driving me nuts.
You actually feel bad for her? From the way you keep talking about her, I'm not seeing any part of you that actually cares enough about her to be saying such things. It's making me sad to hear all this from you. What about my mom has made you so upset with her that you'd say such rude things?
That old bag is terrible at cooking decent meals for us.
What?
The only thing she can make well is bad food. And when it comes to the clothing she wears, it all looks like secondhand clothing bought at some Salvation Army. Just looking at her style makes me want to vomit.
You're making my mom cook while she's over there? Are you kidding me?
What are you trying to get at? Of course she is. We are the ones allowing her to live here with us, so the least she can do is cook.
No, I feel that if anything, you should be the one cooking for her.
And just be aware that I know about how your whole family has zero spending money because you all had to be raised by a single mother. I feel that just because you don't have the money to support her poor butt, you shouldn't be forcing someone like myself and your older brother to. Especially when just a bit ago, Zach was able to get into a great company. If we didn't have this old worthless bag over here, then we'd have enough money to do all sorts of things we want.
If you have the time to talk trash about my mom behind her back, then how about you go talk to my brother about her instead of me?
Huh? What are you saying? Right now, Zach and I are doing so well together. I have no need for you to tell me how to work my relationship with him.
Well, I'm not trying to control what you both do in your relationship, and if you really are doing well together, that's good to hear. But the way you're talking about my mom right now is not acceptable. You sitting there texting me all these complaints you have about her is not acceptable either, and I will not let you say anything more to me. If you really don't want my mom living over there with you guys anymore, then go tell that to my brother's face, please. Tell me, why are you not able to do that if things between you two are going so well?
Right now, Zach is really happy, believing that I'm great taking care of his mom for him. He buys me all sorts of brand bags and things like that to repay me for it. That's why I'm asking you to take care of this old bag for me. If he were to find out something like me kicking her out, then this whole awesome relationship we have would fall apart.
So this all has to do with you getting the things you want without having to make any sacrifices, huh? Understood. But this is not something I can do anything about. If you really want her to stop living there with you, go talk to your husband about it. And actually, you should really be talking with my mom about this so you can understand her side of the story. I think that she can explain to you that she's not the kind of person you think she is.
I don't get what you're on about. If you don't let me continue having a great relationship with your brother, I'm going to make both you and your mother pay for it.
And if you think that's such a good idea, then I'll make sure you pay for your actions tenfold. Goodbye now.
Krista, that hurricane today was insane, right? There was something funny about it all, though. Would you like to hear about it?
Something funny about it? Well, I'm sure whatever this something may be, it won't come without a price, right?
In the middle of the night, while the hurricane was raging, I sent that moneyless old hag outside. And now this place is all mine. That's why I said before that you should have hurried up and came and gotten that grandma. I wonder how things are going for her now.
You are the worst. That house is supposed to be like a home to my mom, but you took it from her without even asking.
I'm telling you right now that you need to take care of that moneyless old bag, all right? You and her can get along, both agreeing on things like not having any money or time to have fun.
I can see you're having a ball saying all that stuff about her, but if my brother were to find out about this, what do you think might happen?
You go ahead and let him know what happened, all right? Tell him that it wasn't my fault and that your mom chose to leave the house all by herself in the middle of the night. Make sure you tell her exactly what I said, word for word. You wouldn't want to ruin the most amazing relationship your older brother has with me, right? We have no need for someone in this house who doesn't have any money to share. I wanted this house for myself, so I tossed your mom out into the hurricane to find her way somewhere else.
If you're talking about my mom as though she's lost out there, you have it all wrong. She's with my brother and I at her condo.
What?
You are really the most stupid woman in Florida.
What do you mean by that? What's going on here? What condo are you talking about?
My mom happens to have a condo that she frequents every so often. And soon Zach will be coming back here as well.
Huh? A condo? I don't get it. Have you completely lost your mind now, too?
Ah, that's right. You probably never knew about the condo she holds on to, right? Well, it so happens that my mom has a lot of properties that you probably know nothing about. And to be honest, she's come from a life of fortune that probably even you could never fathom. That's how rich my mom is.
What? She has a lot of properties? What? I have no idea what you're trying to talk to me about right now.
I'm sure you don't, and I'm sorry about that. Lowlifes like you wouldn't have the mental capacity to understand what it's like being rich, right? I'm sure this is all a bit too difficult for you. Well, you not being able to understand what it's like to have money is none of my problem.
Wait, can you please explain this in a way I can understand? Tell me what the hell has happened.
My mom was only living in that house with you two because she wanted to live with my brother. But she was kicked out of that house last night, and so she invited me to come out and live with her for a while at her condo.
I never heard about her owning any condos.
And I can see that now. But we never told you about them in the first place. We didn't want you getting all nervous about my mom having all that money and all her properties. So we decided to make things more comfortable for you by not saying anything about it. We just wanted to make it seem simple, and that's why we said my brother wanted her to come live with them, and she wanted to live with him as well. And she was hoping to have a close relationship with you as well there. But instead, it turns out that you're a terrible person, and because of that, you made yourself look bad in front of her. All she was trying to do was make things less complicated for you, yet you took all that the wrong way and forced her out.
Make things less complicated for me? What does that even mean?
You can think about that one yourself. But in the end, you kicked her out of the house in the middle of a hurricane. And I went there to get her with my car, and we both went back to her condo and are having a party right now to celebrate being free from you. All our family and friends are here too, having a wonderful time, so please don't come over ruining it for us. And you don't have to worry about her anymore, because she's already made it clear to us that she'll never live around you again.
What the heck? Are you for real? Your mom had a condo and you're all partying right now? This all makes zero sense to me, but you're telling me that an old hag like her that buys clothing from a secondhand store has all that?
She was only wearing that clothing to make you feel better around her. You really should be thankful that she did that for you.
So you're telling me that your mom really has a lot of money, right? Yet she just acted like she was poor while she lived with us?
It's not like she was trying to lie to you or anything. She just didn't want to stress you with thinking that she required more from you than you could give.
Are you trying to say that I'm poor or something?
I'm not trying to say it all that straight, but well, if you compare your life with the one my mom lives, you are pretty poor. But even after my mom tried to be nice to you by not acting all rich and snobby, you still acted out and treated her like she was the poor one, which we all understand very well now.
Huh? No. Wait a second. If you're really telling the truth about her having lots of money, then this is a totally different story. I didn't know at the time that she had all that money and all those properties under her name. I was just being fair with her by saying that she was a poor old bag because of the way she dressed and acted.
And that right there was way too thoughtless of you. Her being poor and without a lot of money didn't have anything to do with you being her daughter-in-law. She just wanted things to be about being a family, and that's it. She really wanted to become good family with you, and that was her only goal. However, instead of becoming friends with you, all she received was earfuls of you calling her horrible things all the time.
Wait, that wasn't what I had planned on doing.
Well, at this point, we are all aware that you're not the kind of person who is willing to be open-minded towards others. And since my mom is the most aware of that, she no longer needs to be around you. So with all that being said, we'd like you out of that house.
Huh? Why would I be the one to leave this house now? This is supposed to be our house.
Come on! You understand by now that you have no right to that house now, right? My brother will most likely be talking to you about this later, but that house is under my mom's name.
Huh? Are you sure?
So you really didn't know about that either then. My mom didn't want to say anything to you because all you do is talk trash about her. Either way, my mom was letting the two of you live in that house as a present from her for your wedding.
Huh? I didn't know anything about that either. I just assumed that Zach had bought this place with his own money.
My brother only just got his first job working full-time. So do you really think he'd have the ability to afford a place like that? I'm just saying that place is not yours to live in, and so my mom will have you kicked out of there very soon if you don't leave willingly. She had hopes of one day giving that place to you guys and having her name removed, but I don't think she will be doing that for either of you guys now.
She won't give us this house? Huh?
She's telling me that as long as you're with my brother, she's not even going to continue to help him with the loan.
Huh? Loan?
Like I said, my brother only just started his first full-time job, and so he doesn't have the income to get his own loan yet. So in order to help him have a house for the two of you, or I suppose three of you could live in, she got a loan and helps him pay it off with some of her wealth.
I didn't even know about that part. What does all of this mean then? Are you trying to say that he doesn't have the income right now to afford the place?
Well, like I've said, he's very fresh to this world of business and working. You really had no clue about anything regarding him, huh? Honestly, I'm sure you were told all of this before, but you didn't want to understand it, so you just ended up ignoring him, right?
If his mom ends up stopping the help with that loan, what'll happen to us?
Well, you both will no longer be able to pay it off in time, and things will begin to fall apart there, right? She really tried her best to give Zach everything as well. But it's all because of his own wife that your lives will fall apart.
Krista? This time was a little... Well, this time I was just a little confused about things, and I'm sorry if that hurts you in any way. But right now, I understand everything completely, all right? So can we get back to becoming a happy family together again, right?
Get back to?
Can you tell your mom that she's allowed to come back home to our house now? Actually, let her know that I'll be coming to her condo. I think I should get some things together now to spend the night there, right? I'm sure you're all fine now with me coming to that party, right?
Really? Nice joke, Betty. You almost had me believing all of that as well for a bit.
Huh? Why are you saying that?
It's a little too late for you to act all happy and upbeat about what's happened. Mom has already told us she no longer wants to have any ties to you. And I thought that was implied by everything I was telling you this whole time. There is no longer going to be a day where she wants to be in your company. Honestly, you'll never even be hearing from her again, Betty.
What? Hold on, okay? So, does this really mean I'm going to have to leave this house? If I get tossed out of here, I'll be in real trouble. And if she were to cause some kind of trouble for Zach, do you know what that might do to our marriage?
That's not something I care about. This is all because of the way you treated my mom, right? To break it to you in the most straight way possible, the way you've acted has made an enemy of my mom. And I had warned you of that sooner, right? I asked that you no longer talk poorly of my mom and maybe go chat with her about all your complaints.
Then you should have just told me about all of this instead of letting me continue.
Huh? I'm not your freaking parent.
But you could have at least told me she was loaded, and then none of this would have happened. I would have never said anything bad about her after that, and we could all be living our dreams right now.
The fact that you only change your attitude from good to bad based on someone else's money shows me that you're just the scummiest person on the planet. You think I want you to be around my mom when you're that kind of monster?
Krista, this is getting really bad. I'm getting call after call from Zach right now. Does he already know about what happened to your mom?
Well, he just arrived a couple of minutes ago and my mom explained everything to him. He became very, very red in the face and then stormed upstairs saying he'd give you a call.
You're lying, right? That means I'm completely screwed now.
Exactly. You always liked making everyone else have to deal with your crap. But it seems this time all that crap is coming for you. Well, that's all I have to say about things. You are done for, Betty. Now, I'd answer the next call from him if I were you. The woman that you kept calling a moneyless old bag? Well, that's going to be you in the next 10 years or so. You idiot! In the end, Zach found out all about the things that Betty had been up to and told her that he wanted a divorce. He also told her that his mom would have the house sold back to the bank and that they'd all be moving out, so she had no choice but to leave. Betty tried going to her mother-in-law about all of this and begged for forgiveness, but everyone in the family had had enough of her and ignored all her pleas. Betty ended up kicked out of the house by the bank and was not able to go back home to her parents, which cut ties to her, leaving her to live life on the road. Had she only been a bit nicer to those she knew little about, she'd be having the time of her life living with enough money to keep her entertained. Even Krista's mom was thinking so much about becoming close to her daughter-in-law that she was getting ready to give them one of her condos as a place to spend their time off. But that idea was quickly crushed by Betty being such a miserable person. I guess it's a good thing this all happened to my mom, because we learned far sooner that Betty was nothing more than a self-centered child deep inside, and that a condo wouldn't fit that kind of personality. Now, Betty is stuck working as a factory worker, breaking down tuna and canning them, all for minimum wage at around 60 hours per week. She does this from sunrise to sunset, all while thinking about how badly she screwed up by acting like a complete child to her in-laws. I'm sure it's really tough for her now. But this is what she deserves to help her realize to be nice to strangers. As for the rest of the family, they have all gone back to living their lives as normal. Krista is back at her place getting back to work and living her life as she always has. And Zach has gone back with his mom to her condo with all his and her things to live there for a while until he has enough money saved up for his own house. I feel bad that this all happened to Zach, really, as he didn't do anything wrong to deserve losing the gift that his mother gave him. But I'm sure that somewhere down the line she'll be willing to help him again with another gift.
Hey, you useless high school dropout. Riddle me this. When are you actually gonna pack your shit and leave the house, huh? I don't really need you at all anymore. We're done using you. You're used up. Figure it out, man.
Oh my god, Mom, you're gonna start this crap again? I'm in the middle of my job right now. I just started my shift. I really don't want to sit here and listen to you bitch and moan at me while I'm working. I hear enough of that crap and I'm finally home after a 12-hour shift.
What are you talking about? You're a high school dropout. That's what you deserve. So you're telling me that the only thing you can do is talk back to your own parents? Just another thing you fail at?
That's not what I'm talking about. And that's not what's going on right now. Why do you want to make fun of the fact that I'm a high school dropout right now? What do you have to gain from it? I literally dropped out of high school because I had to help you and Dad anyway. It's not like I didn't want to go to school.
Yeah, here we go again with your lies. The only reason that you're a high school dropout is because you're a useless loser. Don't try to shift the blame on your parents. You're just a useless moron who is of no use to society or anyone in it. You're just a trash lowlife.
You really need to cut it out, Mom. You're going way too far. Be honest with me here. You know that I didn't just drop out of high school because I didn't want to go, right? I started working right out of middle school because I had to pay off the loans and debt that you two accrued. You two! My parents. It has nothing to do with my worth.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, silly. Don't be making things up like that. I don't know what you're doing exactly. I heard something about a security guard or something. I don't care. But that job is literally the worst thing you could have possibly done. I mean, how could you possibly be proud of that? You really need to look at how Jerry is living his life. He's a better role model than you'll ever hope to be.
What the hell? Why would you say that it's the worst thing? I've been working hard and tirelessly. And not to mention that almost every penny that I've earned has been sent straight to you and Dad. You really gonna take all that money from me and still say that I'm the absolute worst when my job is giving you that money? I've been doing this for over 10 years, Mom. Over 10 years I've been sending you and Dad money while I worked hard. And yet you still look down on me like that. I'm actually kind of impressed by how much you're able to look down on me.
Jerry has already graduated from his college top of the class and has a top-level firm ready to hire him. He's going to be making bank as soon as he starts. Do you know what that means? It means we don't need you anymore. Put another way, it means you need to pack your stuff and get the hell out of the house. You living here is just a massive waste of electricity and utility bills. You're gonna pay for that too?
You're really going that far? I really feel like I've earned my place. The only reason that he was able to go to college at all is because I was able to earn enough money to support him and you guys while he attended. He's still taking out student loans. He's still taking out student loans though because it wasn't enough for him to finish up everything and live. It sounds like he's borrowing from other sources though, not just legit student loans. That's none of my business though.
What the hell are you talking about, Russell?
I really hope that he's already returned all of his debt, for his sake and yours. But again, that's none of my business. So he's found a job, huh? I'm glad to hear that. It sounds like things are looking up for him.
Yeah, he really deserves this job. Unlike you, he's elite and is going to work at a corporate firm and make the big money. He's literally everything his dropout older brother never could be. You're just a piece of lint compared to him.
You know, I've always known that you really love Jerry. That really has never surprised me at all, but like, come on, Mom. You've really got to be less hateful towards me. I worked hard for you and Dad, who, by the way, has disappeared to go get milk about 20 years ago. I did everything in my power to make sure this family stayed fed and relatively happy. I know you're happy that Jerry found a job. I really am happy for him too, Mom. It's not just you. But shouldn't you be at least a little thankful for me, his big brother too? I feel like it's a little bit weird for you to be out to hate me when I've literally supported you two.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm really done with this conversation. The point of all of this is that you're done. This is over. I don't need you to be around anymore. Can you please just get the hell out of this house? I really don't need you anymore. I'm going to go ahead and kick you out of the house. We're no longer going to be mom and son. Bye!
Wait, what are you talking about, Mom? We're no longer gonna be mom and son?
I told you that your younger brother found a job, right? They gave him a job offer and everything. I don't need you as a family member anymore. You're all used up. You're old news. Should I keep going? You're just a waste of money at this point. A money sink. I need you to get the hell out. Right now, I don't care what happens to you. The low life with a shit job. You might as well lose your job and become some hobo under a bridge or something. I wouldn't care. I'm definitely not going to help you out. We're going to cut ties and pretend we never existed to each other. You're no one to me. And don't even think about coming back to me to ask for money. It's useless. You won't get a single penny out of me, you leech.
What are you talking about? I would never want to ask you for money, Mom. I've never felt entitled to any of your money. You're gonna cut ties with me as soon as Jerry got a job offer? Seriously, Mom? After everything I've done for you? Are you losing it, Mom? Actually, how can you even be like that towards your own son, Mom? You must be out of your mind.
What? How am I out of my mind? As soon as the younger brother, who's now destined to become an elite corporate member. We don't need the low-life older brother. Can anyone say scum? Don't ever interact with your brother or myself, okay? We don't need you anymore.
I actually pity you, Mom. I have no words for you. I can't believe that you'd cut me away like nothing ever happened after all that I've done for you and him. I'm not gonna put up with this anymore. You're not worth it.
Just make sure you pack your shit and leave ASAP, okay?
Look, right now I'm working, like I said earlier. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna do something productive with my life, okay? I heard you found a job, bro. Why didn't you tell me? It's a big-time corporate job too, right? Congratulations, you must have worked hard. Oh, that old bitch was talking about it! Sorry that I'm the only one that's able to be elite and you're just some low-life scum. Whatever. Are you sure you're able to pay back all your loans? I don't really care for any of the small talk coming from you. You've loaned some from me and had me take out some loans too, so you better make sure you pay everything back to me. Okay, I'm working for a huge corporation, so I won't be breaking a sweat along the way. But I'm not gonna pay off the loans that you took out, bro. You're crazy. What the hell? What are you talking about? You're my brother, right? My dearest and beloved older brother. I don't feel the need to return any money when it's just money that's been lent and moved around within the family. Come on, bro. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure to spend it all very carefully for myself. You can sleep easy at night knowing I'm gonna pocket all of your money. Better stop messing around, Jerry. I'm all out of patience. Do you realize how much I've loaned you over the years? Seriously, it must be in the tens of thousands by now. I've spent a lot of money on your tuition, too. You know, for the college that helped you land that sweet corporate job. I mean, it can't be helped, can it? You're literally useless when it comes to anything else. That's all you're good for. Huh? What do you mean? I'm saying that old hag is right about some things, and one thing she's right about is you and how to treat you. You're not smart, so you've been working as a security guard, right? You're headed straight to the gutters, bro, living amongst the other scum around you. I'm glad that at least I was smart and actually went to college using my brain instead of just dropping out of high school like some loser. No, what you're lucky about is that you were the second child. That's literally the only difference between you and me. When we were born, you had no reason to drop out of high school and go to work because you had your big brother. I actually liked high school too, you realize that? It's not like I didn't like going to high school. I mean, that's just how life is sometimes, you know? What can you do about it? You really just pulled the short straw. You should wish for better luck in the next time you're born. I don't have any regrets anymore because I've worked out my demons from the past, but if that's the attitude you want to have, then I also have my own plans too. Don't think that I haven't learned a thing or two. Congratulations on your employment though. I'm happy for you. I'm never gonna loan you any kind of money from now on, so don't ever come crying back to me for help. Do you understand?
I threw away all of your shit before you came back from your graveyard shift, just so you know. I'm not keeping it in the house.
Wait, what? What the hell?
If it hasn't been taken away by the trash guys yet, maybe you can be lucky and pick it up from the front of the house. But I don't want you to come inside the house anymore. Stay the hell outside of our house. Do you understand? You're not family anymore, you hear? We're strangers now. Hooray!
You being serious right now? This isn't some kind of prank? You took someone's belongings without asking about it and just threw it outside? And to throw it all away?
Of course not. I kept all of the stuff that looks like we would still be able to get some use out of it. You just make sure to take everything I've deemed as trash and useless, including yourself, and get the hell out, okay?
I'm so sick and tired of this. It's gone way too far. Everything I've ever done for you has been for a waste, huh? There was literally no point in me sticking out my head and taking one for the team. I've worked hard and tirelessly, day in and day out, to make sure that this family stays happy. And that's how you just throw me away like nothing ever happened? Like I'm just some garbage to be disposed of?
You're literally some low-life scum who dropped out of middle school. What the hell are you talking about? It's not like you have any rights. Don't worry, your younger brother, who's straight on the path to becoming a corporate elite employee, will be taking great care of me from now on. Can the useless idiot please just disappear for me? I need you to just be out of my life from now on.
That's why you don't thank me at all and just throw away all of my personal belongings? I'm at a loss for words, Mom. You're seriously gonna cut all ties with me, huh? You're being dead serious about us not being family anymore?
Yes. We don't need anyone like you in our family when you're just low-life scum. Don't you understand?
Okay, I understand. I will be doing the same thing then. You will be cut out of my life. I want to make sure that you understand we are strangers now, so we will not be talking to each other at all.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. You finally get it. I'm not going to give you a single penny back. All the money you've ever loaned me will be used for our future.
I don't need any of it back. I didn't plan on asking anyway. But promise me that you'll never ask me for more money either, because I'm not gonna help.
Why would anyone have to rely on you for any kind of help? Thank you so much for working so hard and spending your life against the other low-life scum to pay back our loans and debt. The younger one has finally secured a job, so we don't need you, the low-life security guard, to be around us anymore. Goodbye, shitty ATM.
All right, I'll take my stuff and leave then.
We're done with our family ties, too.
Yeah, sure, whatever, just like you asked. We'll cut our family ties. No more family. Goodbye, lady. You must be so happy that everything worked out in your favor, huh?
What's going on, Russell? When are you going to come back home to the house where your family is? You really should come back soon, shouldn't you? It's been way too long. I think you should come back home. Why are you being so stubborn? I've messaged you so much.
What? What the hell are you talking about, lady?
What do you mean, what the hell am I talking about? We haven't been able to pay off all of our bills recently. There are quite a few bills that need to be paid off. You should be getting pretty bored of running away from your home, right? Just come back already. I'm going to be expecting your return so that you can be paying off all of our bills. Thanks.
Shut the hell up! What are you smoking, lady? Who even are you? I don't know anyone like you.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
We already cut ties, right? I'm pretty sure you wanted to. What did you want from me now? Did you have some kind of goal? I don't have anything left to deal with you. You're just some random lady. I left the house just like you asked me. I didn't even ask to be thrown out. You practically evicted me. I cut ties with you just like you wanted. That is what you wanted, right? I'm not gonna go back to that house, just so you know. There's not a chance in hell.
Wait, hang on though. Can you at least hear me out? I could really use your help. Seriously. We really don't have any money anymore to even survive day to day. I'm really struggling, so I could really use your help ASAP. Just come home quickly, okay?
What? What the hell are you talking about after all of that speech that you gave me? Jerry got employed at his fancy elite corporate job, right? I was just in the way of his success? That's what you told me anyway. I literally just listened to everything you wanted of me. I didn't even want to, but I did it anyway because you asked me not so politely. We cut ties completely. We're strangers now. I have no intention of ever dealing with you at all. I really don't care what you say from here. Nothing you say will make me change my mind. It's a waste of time.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. It's not a waste of time. You know it's not. Jerry was supposed to go to work at this big-time corporate job to be an elite, but then he just left the job and ran away from home, leaving all of his loans and debt behind.
Ran away? What do you mean?
He said that he didn't want to work at some company for so long, and that he wasn't suited to be some kind of corporate slave. He said that he had to go to some kind of game event or something. I don't know. None of it really made sense at all. I didn't even listen after a little while because none of it made any sense. He apparently just left the office one day and never showed up again. He just went AWOL. No one knows where he is or what he's doing. He hasn't come home to our house either. I want to put out a missing persons report, but then he just tells me that he's alive, so he doesn't need to be searched at all. So there's no point in reporting it to the police. Even if I did report him missing, the police wouldn't do anything. They'd just think I'm crazy.
I mean, I would have seen that coming from a mile away. You should have known better than to trust that weasel.
What? What are you talking about?
Jerry is only really good on the surface. He gets along with most people initially, but he's never really interested in working hard or anything like that. He's been spoiled ever since he was young, so he's been spending money like crazy and doesn't know how to save money. That's why he's been running around borrowing money from myself and Lord knows who else. Probably anyone he could borrow from. He put all that money into games and gambling, which are apparently his favorite pastime or hobby. He's got so many loans and debt that he probably is drowning now. Up to his neck in debt, you know what I mean?
I don't know any of what you're talking about. I don't think any of that's true. But what are you talking about anyway? Gambling, loans, debt? Is this the same person?
Oh, someone didn't come by our house to try to get their money back? Some loan sharks or something?
What? What are you talking about?
It sounds like he won't be able to pay it back anyway, so yeah. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be responsible for his debt. I really expected the loan sharks to be showing up at your doorsteps by now.
What? Those people are loan sharks? I didn't know who those people were. I really couldn't believe that Jerry would possibly be taking out loans or something, so I turned them away from the house, but... Wait, so you're telling me that he's seriously taking out that many loans?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Even if you turn them away now, they're gonna come every single day until you pay them back what he owes. You know, it actually might be in your best interest to actually do your best to pay them back. I hear they don't like having missing money. Or maybe you can find Jerry somewhere and have him pay them back, so that you don't get beat up or something. I don't really care what happens though. He gets beat up, you get beat up. None of that matters to me at all anyway.
What do you mean it doesn't matter to you at all? You're my son. Of course it matters to you. My physical safety should be relevant to my own son.
Yeah, I used to be your son.
What?
Just because you need help now doesn't mean anything. We've already cut ties, remember? We're strangers now. I've been paying off Jerry's other loans up until about a month ago. I've been working hard for that. I've actually loaned him money on other fronts too, not just there.
You're kidding, right? I didn't know that. Why didn't you just tell me, sweetie?
Yeah, that's because I literally didn't tell you, stupid. I mean, to be fair, it's not like you would have believed me even if I did tell you. You'd probably laugh at me or something. I've never had any kind of financial freedom of any sort up until this point. I've never really had any kind of freedom at all. I wasn't even thanked for all of my hard work. I was suddenly chased out of my own house by my very own mother. That's why I decided that I would continue going forward with my life without having anything to do with you at all.
Nothing to do with me? But we're family. I'm your only mother. That should mean something, right? You can't just up and say that we're strangers and actually cut ties completely with family, right? It's impossible.
Actually, it was a lot easier than I thought.
Huh?
I've already moved to a different state, and I'm not gonna tell you where either. Because it makes no sense to tell a stranger where I'd live. Also, I'm planning on changing my contact information too. You know, cell phone, email, etc. I'm never gonna meet you ever again. You're completely cut out of my life, just like you asked for. Needless to say, everything above applies to Jerry as well.
What are you talking about? Don't be saying such stupid things. Your own flesh and blood are in trouble, and you're sitting there whining. You have an obligation to save us.
Actually, I have something to say to you. I've kept a lot of stuff to myself for a long time. Most of the time, actually. I've just held back. But I've decided that from now on, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm done.
What are you talking about?
I've got a certification in my workplace, top scores too. I didn't tell you, but I've got my GED too. I actually got it a few weeks ago. The other day, I was actually promoted, and I was moved to a new department. That's why I was able to move to a different location.
What? Seriously? I thought you were joking. You're seriously not in the city anymore.
Yeah, so I think we really won't ever see each other again. This is actually perfect for me though. It all works out.
Wait, hang on. Seriously, you're going to give me a headache. Please, don't abandon me like this. I apologize for everything up until this point. I will do better, I promise. Come on, let's move back in together and live like we used to back in the day. We can do this, I swear.
No, we can't really. I've actually already found someone I'm gonna marry, so...
What?
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut ties with idiots like you. You're all just trouble for people around you anyway. I think I've done plenty for you as far as being a good kid, right? I even helped my stupid brother, who's just a two-faced idiot, graduate college. I'm not gonna be able to give you anything beyond this, no matter how much you beg. Alright, you guys, have fun, and good luck on your own.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. Mom was wrong, sweetie, I swear. I want you to come back to my house. I really need you. Please, save your own family.
Yeah, we're not family anymore, so I'm gonna give you a nice big no! You're seriously good at this whole pestering thing, aren't you? A father who disappeared after taking out way too many loans for his own good and my brother? Honestly, both of them seem to be a perfect fit for someone like yourself. Alright, like I said before. Good luck on your own. Oh, and you guys have lost all usefulness for me. Actually, you've lost any kind of usefulness for me about 10 years ago. The mom kept contacting Russell no matter how much he declined her calls and ignored her text messages. She just kept begging him for his help and wouldn't let up at all. But apparently he was able to just block her out completely and intentionally left all of her text messages unread, just to spite her. Eventually, though, he did just block her phone number entirely, which made ignoring her all the more easier for him. All her efforts to reach out to him were in vain, as he had already blocked her on every form of contact that she had with him. The loan sharks, however, did keep paying her visits. She was taken somewhere where no one really knew what was going on, and she had lost all hope. She must have felt really stupid believing in the wrong son at the end of the day. But it was little too late. This is what happens when you completely berate someone and try to take advantage of them. Karma is a dish best served cold. Afterwards, no one really knows what happened to her or Jerry, but Russell got married and is living life happily ever after. He learned true freedom and love without the abuse from his annoying family members. Additionally, he's now in the process of building his own family and is loving every second of his life. I'm sure with how hard Russell has been working every day and every night, he'll be able to succeed in everything he tries and will be able to live happily ever after.
Casey, real soon you'll be going to Hawaii for your wedding anniversary, correct? I think taking the whole family along for that would be the most fun, so that's why we'll be more than happy to come along with you.
Excuse me? What are you talking about right now, Willow? I don't really enjoy all of your weird jokes lately, so could you please stop making them? This vacation is for Ed and myself to go on.
Don't be so stuck up over there, Casey. It's not that big of a deal bringing this up anyway.
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. Just for the time being, could you please stop saying strange things like that? If they're meant to be jokes, they aren't that funny to me.
Hey, Hawaii is really one of the most amazing places on the planet, isn't it? Coming here on vacation was the right choice to make.
What? Yes, I suppose Hawaii is a really amazing place. Wait, did you just say here? Did you come here as well, Willow?
I sure did. I made sure to come all the way out here with you guys.
What do you mean? Why would you want to come out here at the exact same time Ed and I will be celebrating our anniversary?
Because I wanted to come to Hawaii. What's the big deal here? I've heard all kinds of things about this set of islands, and boy is the food good and the beaches so beautiful. Coming all the way out here for a vacation must mean you lawyers are all making loads of money, right?
Ugh, well, you're not wrong. Hawaii is a very beautiful place with some really tasty food.
Thank you so much. Oh, this does happen to be your guys' anniversary after all, so of course you'll be paying for me to stay here, right? I already came all the way here and found myself a very fancy hotel to stay in. Oh, I believe it's the same place that the both of you have been staying at. Oh, I am bursting with joy right now.
We're back in Maryland now, though. Things went just as you imagined, and your mom and I think the rest of your family went to and are still in Hawaii. I know that you and I have had a lot of experiences with her that have shocked us to the core, but this one takes the cake for sure.
I'm glad things ended up the way I expected them to, but I'm seriously over all of them. They've always been trouble for me, but now... I know. Neither of my parents are good people, and they've been terrible to me. Always using their own kid as an ATM, forcing him to give up his earnings at times. At first, I believed that they really needed my money after I left, and that's why I was fine lending them some. But now we both know that was all a fat lie. I believed all of their stories and worked my butt off for them, giving everything I had up so that they would be okay. I even let them hurt me at times, believing that they were still my family and didn't mean any of it. I thought to myself that no matter how awful they were still my parents, and I just had to bear with them. But in the end, I just turned out to be the world's biggest idiot.
That's not true at all. You can't blame yourself for believing in and trusting your parents when you were younger. That's just what kids will naturally do. The idiots here are your parents, especially your mom, for crushing that kindness you would always give them.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for saying that. Had I never had you appearing in my life, I would have never noticed what was wrong and would have been abused by them for the rest of my life. Now that they're out of the state, let's you and I get to work on what we have planned. This is the whole reason I held on to that duplicate key and never threw it away.
It's about time, right?
It sure is. Normally there would be someone at home, but now that they're all in Hawaii, we'll be safe to go in there. This is our only chance. You and I are gonna make sure they all burn in hell.
That's right. We may have had to make up a trip to Hawaii to fool them all into going, but now that it is a success, let's make sure the second half of our plan works. And then we'll finally be free. You come back to Hawaii right now and pay for us. You guys must have tricked us all into coming out here, right? Hey, are you even listening to me right now? Oh, hurry up and give me a reply right now. We can't come home unless you help us out now. Sorry about that, Willow. I was at work and didn't realize you were trying to talk with me. I can see you went on quite a small ramble there about how you needed our help. However, that is all what you guys deserve, correct? Excuse me? I mean, I never said that I'd be paying for you guys to stay in Hawaii, and I never even asked you guys to come in the first place. So could you please stop trying to threaten me into paying for you guys when it was all of you that decided to go? Ed and I are tired of being milked by all of you, so it's over with. What the hell? How dare you talk to your mother-in-law like that? We are your family, so it is your job to help us all out when we need it. Do you even consider yourself a person if you throw us all away like that? We're not family. You and I are nothing more than strangers. So I'm not sure what you mean by me having to help you guys out. What? As a parent, it is your duty to raise and take care of your children, correct? However, you should never expect your children to help you in return just because you're their parent. That should come naturally to the kids as long as they were raised in a way where they respect their parents enough to help them. In other words, the fact that Ed and I don't want to help you right now is because you aren't respected as his mother. Huh? You haven't even had kids of your own before, so what makes you think you can talk to me from on top of your soapbox like that? Honestly, I don't care that you're upset to hear the truth. Ed and I have both stopped trying to bear all of that crap you guys put out. Huh? Neither Ed or I approve of you anymore. Therefore, he and I are going to show you just how much we've been resenting you. Even if you're able to make it all the way back to Maryland, don't assume that any of this will be over with, okay? Now, both him and I will be waiting here patiently for you guys. My goodness, you are such a scary devil woman. I can't believe my Ed would marry such a monster after everything. I'm going to have to chew Ed out later for not keeping you on a tight leash. Anyhow, you come to Hawaii right now with your money and pay for us, you devil woman. Casey, I'm so sorry. I was a bit too nasty with you yesterday, so I think I'll approach things a bit more kindly this time around. What do you want with me now? Yesterday, you seemed very hell-bent on getting me to come back out there and pay for all of you guys. Well, come on now. It's just that we all had a little bit too much fun while we've been out here. We made sure to get ourselves a suite at this hotel for the past couple of days, and we've been using room service all the time now, ordering things like caviar and champagne. We've also made sure to go to many high-end restaurants so we could enjoy the local food. We've also been having the hotel's masseuse come to our room to give us massages every night, so the bill is racked up to about $30,000. And well, I didn't have the money to afford all of that, assuming you'd be paying, so I made sure to use your credit card to pay for everything. Huh? Had we not paid that all off, we would have gotten into big trouble, right? But I was able to use your best credit card to pay for everything, so we didn't have to worry about a thing in the end. This was your vacation that you planned with Ed, after all, so there should be no complaining about us enjoying it as well with your money. Thank goodness, right? I was thinking that there'd be a chance you wouldn't pay for us outright, so I made sure to take this credit card from your purse. So in other words, you're saying that you stole one of my credit cards out from my purse?
Now, why would you ever say that I stole it? I was just borrowing it for a little bit, just borrowing it. I mean, there are times when you don't come forward and pay for us, right? I had to make sure there was a plan B in case you didn't want to be a good daughter-in-law. Ugh, that is it then. I've always known about you taking things like cash and credit cards out from my purse, Willow. Did you know that all of that is considered theft? Would you like to come clean and confess to what you've been doing? What the hell? Oh, you guys are my family now, so I don't have to care about all of that legal bullcrap. Hey, why don't you stop messing around right there and start taking this very seriously? What was that? I'm not as stupid as some of you may think I am. I know about how you'd always take things from my purses while I wasn't looking, and I could tell very easily when and where you'd use my credit cards. That card you have, it doesn't even work anymore. What? I assumed you would have noticed I was on to you from the start. And when I realized that my card was being used back in Hawaii still by you on all sorts of expensive things, I had it closed to make sure I wasn't charged for any of that crap. Did you not realize that someone can do that through their banking app? In other words, all of those bills you think you've paid off still have not gone through, and those businesses in the hotel will come for you. Now, if you want to avoid all of that, go back to them and use one of your own credit cards. That's not going to happen. I don't have any credit cards with enough credit on them to cover all of that. I'm sure you don't. But you could use all your credit cards at once and the total amount of credit you'd get would be enough, right? Ah! I'm sure you might say you don't have all of those cards on you now, and that's fine. But there's always your husband, and I know he has a credit card with a large enough limit on it to pay $30,000 right now. He's used it plenty of times to pay for those golf tournaments, right? I'm sure that $30,000 will max it out, but at least then you won't be stuck having the police called on you or anything for not paying, right? Oh, and when you guys do decide to come back to Maryland, don't come to me asking for any money because I am not giving you any. Goodbye now. I'm not playing games here. I can't believe you tricked me into this, you old frickin' bitch whore. So you're not going to give me any money now? It's because of you that things ended up like this for us, so I'll make you pay whether you want to or not. This is my final warning to you. Pay up. Because if you don't right now, I'm going to come there and make you with all the strength I still have. So now you're threatening me with violence? Well, that's fine. I'll take the blame for you guys ending up there as well. Because compared to all the horrible things you and your husband have done to Ed and I, we're still angels. I look forward to seeing you all when you're back home. Please be prepared for us to crush you when you're back in town. We somehow made it all the way back to Maryland. Oh, Jesus. Because of you, we had to go through hell to get out of Hawaii. I'm going to have to punish you for what you've done to us right away. Ah, hello, Willow. Glad to hear you made it all home safely. Ed and I have been waiting all this time for today. Who cares that the both of you have been waiting on us? Because of you, I wasn't able to use your credit card to pay off Jack, and I ended up having to get creative. I'm going to make you pay us back for all that, so make sure you have the money to us tomorrow. You really are so energetic today. I guess you haven't taken a look inside your mailbox since coming back yet. I was kind of thinking that after you looked at what's in there, you wouldn't have time to be talking with me anymore. Huh? Oh, the mailbox? I've been away from my home for close to 2 weeks now, so of course I haven't taken a look inside it yet. What the hell is even in there anyway? What is this? Oh, Willow, so you finally got around to having a look through all your mail that was in there? I don't understand why you're asking me about all of that, though. What you've seen is what's going on now. Why did we get a file full of documents? And why is there another file in here from the courthouse and the police? What the hell have you two done since we've been gone? Wait a second, Willow. You were the one that confessed about what you'd done to me, right? You confessed to taking all those credit cards from my purse. Stealing all of them from my purse. I also have all the talk about how you wanted to use my limitless card on your trip over there in Hawaii, just as I was shutting it off. And all the transaction history on my cards is printed out and in that file labeled investigation documents that you have with you. But Casey, I told you that I was just borrowing those cards from you. But I never once said that I was willing to lend them to you.
I'll have you know that rooting through someone else's purses and stealing their credit cards like that and then using them is a very bad crime to have on your permanent record. Hence why I went to the police and reported everything to them. I've heard from them that they've already started to write you up for questioning, as they would like to have a word with you so that they can get to know you better.
No way! All I did was borrow those cards from you, so don't blow everything out of proportion like that. I can't be suspected for crimes that were never committed. Are you out of your freaking mind right now? How dare you try and take your mother-in-law to court like this? What the hell happened to you? Since we're family, I think we should work on a compromise here, all right? Don't you have far more money than some third...
So far, you've done nothing that a normal in-law would do with their son's wife. And from what I've heard from Ed about you, you're nothing like a mother either. He calls you toxic and says you're less than scum.
What?
Sounds like for as long as Ed can remember, you and your husband have been milking Ed dry of all his money and time. I heard about how back in middle school you guys started to complain about how you were all poor and needed his help for money, and so you forced him to become a paper boy and then would take all the money he made. And when it came to things like clubs and sports, you guys would never pay for Ed to get any jerseys or go on any club trips.
Oh, that's because back then we were really in some financial trouble, so we didn't have a choice but to put him to work and have him give up on school-related clubs. Tell me right now what's wrong with having kids help out when us parents aren't making enough money for everything.
Helping you guys out?
That's right. Unlike you, who is a very well-known lawyer, this family hasn't been blessed with a lot of money. That's why we've always been having him help us out with our financial situation. The only thing he had been doing as a kid was going to school, so he had plenty of time to work for us. What's wrong with that?
Shut your damn mouth right now. What the hell do you mean he only had school back then? The moment that kid got into high school, you guys forced him to start working part-time, taking away any chance he had at going out with friends, and then took all the money he made there, too. And you guys had been living far from the center of town, so Ed had to ride 2 hours both ways on his bike after getting out of school to go to work.
And that was... Hey, we didn't want the kid to start thinking he could go to any of those fancy and expensive schools after high school. Kids take a lot of money to raise and feed. Someone like you who's never had to raise a boy for 18 years would never understand what I mean. So how about you stop talking to me like you know everything?
I want to know then, if you guys have always had such financial difficulties, then why have you always dressed in high-brand clothing and worn diamond-encrusted jewelry?
What?
Your house seems to be filled with all kinds of really expensive furniture, and even your husband's man cave is decked out with the newest sound systems and TV. I've even found documents in your drawer for all your watches and rings and bracelets stating that the gems in them are real and that the gold is all 24 karat. And when I had a look at some of those receipts in there, they all had the date on them, printed back when Eddie was still in school.
Why do you know about all of that? How did you even get into my drawer?
While you were all away on that trip to Hawaii, Ed and I went into your house and had a look around. And after looking through your husband's office there, we learned that he has been making way more than you guys seem to say he made. I wouldn't call him a millionaire, but I would never, ever call you both poor and in need of financial aid. And after the rooting around I did in your desk and drawers, we both saw that you've been well off from the start. You guys are monsters. Using your son to do all that work so you could have extra cash for all your crap?
Why does it matter to you what we did to our boy? I was the one that gave birth to him, not you. Also, this is exactly what Ed wanted to do when he was young.
What?
Had he really been against what we wanted from him, he could have just run away, but he never did he? In other words, Ed was totally fine working for us.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Ah!
You want to know why he never ran away? Because he was a kid. And all you guys did to him was lie about how if he left your house, he would die out there because nobody else would care for him. And whenever he'd keep even a penny for himself to use on one of those horse rides at the supermarket, you kicked him out of the house for a few hours. There were even days you guys wouldn't feed him as punishment. And when he was finally working full-time and making a salary, you guys started formulating new plans in order to wring as much money out of him as possible. He had never been able to run away from you guys then either because he had been raised to believe you guys were his only chance of staying alive, even as an adult. None of that was what Ed wanted. All of that was what a scared little boy had to do in order to not be hurt by you guys anymore. Also, due to what you had all done to him, Ed was led to believe that he had to sacrifice himself in order for the rest of you to be happy.
What? He assumed that by never leaving any of you guys and starting a life of his own, he'd be protecting you guys from hurting someone else or yourselves. That's what you turned Ed into. A man with no will of his own, thinking he was only on this planet for your guys' sake. He has done everything he could in order to make sure nobody else got hurt. And that is why he has never seen you or your husband as his parents, because all he's felt like to you is your slave, your sacrifice. Well, even if some of that is true, it's his job as our son to take care of all of us, right? He should live his whole life doing everything for his parents, not expecting anything in return. Also, my son has never ever been the type to talk about his parents in a bad way at all, so I don't know what kind of things you're forcing him to listen to. I think you're trying to brainwash our kid into thinking we've been bad parents. Stop screwing around and reply to me right now, you brainwashing bitch of an animal! Ugh. Once again, you're calling me names and acting like the victim. I haven't done anything at all right? Ed came to learn that both of his parents are freaks and don't deserve to be called his mom and dad anymore. What? By the time he and I got married, he was already a changed man. And here's something you probably never knew. Ed and I had been dating for a long time before we got married. He told me he didn't want to marry me because he was afraid of how horrible his parents would be to me. I'm not going to blame him for saying that, though, because he was exactly right about you two. I mean, you turned out to be the kind of woman who thought it'd be okay to steal your daughter-in-law's credit cards and use them. But even after so many times of telling me he was afraid of marrying me, he eventually went through with it. Do you know why that is? I have no idea why. I'm assuming that he was waiting for a better woman to come along, but no one else did, so he had to settle for you. Nope, he married me in order to get his revenge. Revenge on you. Huh? He always knew about how I had become a lawyer and that I had a lot of friends in the legal system. That's why I asked him one day if he'd want to get revenge for what you all had done to him. He said of course he'd want to. So for the past 10 years since we had our wedding, we've been slowly gathering all the evidence of what's happened and creating a portfolio we both like to call Scorched Earth. And well, after a decade has gone by, we finally feel that we can't stand you all anymore. So now we're going to show you guys what 10 years of evidence gathering and malice looks like. I'm not playing around anymore, I told you that! I already know that you've brainwashed my Ed because he would never want to get revenge, especially on his parents. He's always been such a loving boy and would do everything we said. He's on our side and would never fall to yours. Well, you've really done it now, Ed. Why the hell would you make that bitch into your wife? Have you been listening to all the crap she's been saying this whole time? If you understand that she's being a total asshole, then you come over to our place right now and pay off your dad's credit card. This is all your fault, after all, because as the husband, you're supposed to keep that nasty bitch on a leash, but you haven't been. Take responsibility for this right now.
Is that all you want to say to me? And is that the kind of thing you should be saying to your own son?
I'm your mother, so of course I can say that. Now you get your ass over here and pay up. Don't tell me you stooped so low now because of her, that you're not even going to give your own parents any more money, even though you're indebted to them.
Go ahead and say that I've stooped that low because I have.
What?
The only person that I consider my family now is sitting right next to me and making sure I'm okay as I say these things. So go ahead and keep talking to me with that toxic mouth of yours because I'm not going to back down any longer. I'm cutting ties to all of you. That's the choice I've made.
Are you about to rebel against your own parents? What kind of disobedient child are you?
Say whatever the hell you'd like about me, you asshat. I'm not playing around anymore with you. In order to make sure you all don't cause any more harm to those that are just trying to live their lives, I'm going to crush you under my feet and make sure you can never move again.
Do you have any idea what you're saying to your own mother?
My mother? I don't even think of you as my mother. And to you, I'm no son, but your wallet. Your purse, your ATM.
Well, that's not true.
It's not? Then why do we have evidence showing you completely taking all your attention away from me when you realize that Casey is making more money than me? You and Dad always lied to me about how our family was dirt poor and would use me to make extra change that you could spend on jewelry. Hey, when was the last time you actually talked to me about anything besides money? Do you even know how old I am right now? I'm sure you don't know the answer to that.
There's no parent that would ever get their child's age wrong.
Then tell me how old I am right now.
Just a while ago you graduated from high school.
There it is. I'm in my 30s now, okay? And that just further proves the fact that you've only seen me as your wallet or ATM. Whatever, though, I've had enough watching you flounder. You're not my mother, and you haven't been anything to me since I got away from you all. I'm going to cut ties to all of you and change my last name to Casey's. That way I never have to be related to any one of you horrible people again.
Huh? You're cutting ties to all of us? You? You're really going to throw away a family name that your parents gave you?
I shiver at the sound of someone else calling me by the same last name you all have. I could vomit right now just by thinking about it. And don't think this all ends with me just throwing your family name away.
What?
After all of that time wasted having to live as your wallet, I'm gonna make sure you pay me back for it. I also happen to know about how you love to steal money from other people besides just your family. We have evidence of that after you took that trip to Hawaii. So in order to make sure this earth is not tainted by your guys' toxic waste, Casey and I are sending you to hell. I'll make sure you're let in through those gates. That's the last thing I'm gonna do as your son.
Wait a sec, please. If you guys take us to court over that, we'll be in big trouble. We did a very good job hiding all of that as well. I promise to never do anything to you guys again and apologize for what's all happened, so please don't do that to us, okay? We've been with you all your life as family, right? So why not let us go?
The only reason I've stayed with you these past 10 years was to make sure I had enough evidence to send you through the gates of hell. I'm the kind of garbage that finds joy in watching his parents suffer. Bye forever now, bitch.
No way, no! I don't want to go to prison. Please, just look past all of this. Hey, Ed, are you even listening to me? I heard. All of them were taken to jail by the police.
Apparently some of the things in that house, like the gemstones and the bags, were all stolen from other people my mom ran into. I'm sure even after handing all those things back to their original owners, they won't be getting off easy. I can't believe it, though. How could they do all of that to random people and still not think of stopping? I swear, they're all just monsters that need to be put away forever in order to avoid this sort of thing from happening again.
I want you to know that I am very proud of what you've done. I think we can finally say that we've put an end to their terror.
Yes, I believe we have. I think I'm going to be indebted to you forever now because of all that you've done for me since we got married.
What? Indebted to me? I haven't done anything that fancy to require you to pay me back. Most of what ended up happening to those people was going to get them eventually.
I don't think that's the case, though. I was going to become a slave to the family for the rest of my life, but you came into it and asked me if I wanted revenge for everything they'd done. Had it not been for that, who knows how much more of my money I would have had to give them, or if I'd even still be alive. So, I am forever grateful, Casey.
Come on, you don't have to be so dramatic about it. All I've done is help the man I love out a little. And having seen that you were treated so badly by them and heard all of those horror stories, I wanted to make sure you got that revenge because I sympathized with you a lot. Actually, I empathize with you because I had to deal with their toxic crap these past 10 years while married to you. So after a decade of hate being built up by them, it feels wonderful to finally hear that they're in the justice system's hands now.
That sounds like the woman I married. Hey, Casey, I've put a bit of thought into this. I want to protect you for the rest of my life. I get that I'm not the strongest man in the world, considering I had to be raised like an ATM instead of a man. But I want to have kids with you and protect us all. That means I want to really make you my woman.
What are you talking about right now? You and I have been married for 10 years now, and you've shown me just how wonderful and protective of a husband you are. I know that you hadn't ever experienced what a family was with them, but you and I have been family for a decade now, and there's nothing that's going to take you away from me. Both of Ed's parents, as well as his aunt and uncle, were sent to prison to spend the next 15 years there due to all the horrible crimes they committed. They had stolen from a total of 42 people, as well as scammed another 13 people, which ended them having to pay such a large amount of money that they had no chance of doing, and would most likely have to go into major debt for had they not chosen the path of prison time. There were so many cases against them that it took one whole month before that conclusion was met, and boy, was it a long wait for Ed and I. As for myself and Ed, we've both finally been met with the gift of freedom and peace. Of course, I don't have to worry about things like money going missing from my purse or random credit card transactions happening, but it's just amazing how wonderful life can be when you're not being used for your money all the time. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.